This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, good morning everyone. So we'll discuss the next topic, right? Filters, sorry, script. So have you tried the filter step yesterday? Do you see any errors or do you see any problems while using the filter step? If not, then we will start the Groovy script. Okay, so now let's start Groovy script. By the way, A means someone has joined as A. May I know your name? Full name? Yeah. A means what? Now, why I am saying that whenever you ask a question, so that it is good to start with your name, right?
Yeah. This is Rajesh.
Rajesh, put it Rajesh now. You are
Okay,
already
okay.
there offline. It is.
No. That's some problem is there in my laptop, so that's why
Acha,
I came.
acha. Yeah, yeah. You just name as Rajesh so that whenever you ask a question or anything, it is good for me to call you with your name.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay, then let's start. So Groovy script, as we discussed, I mean, as you know that there are two options to use the script, either JavaScript or the Groovy script. To understand for the new, if the, for us like new to the Java code, it is very difficult to understand JavaScript and start using the script. Right? Whereas the Groovy script is better because easy to understand, and we can put in the process in flexible manner. That means the business it is friendly with the business language. Now, okay, so the next point is why we need to use Groovy script. What is the importance of using the Groovy script, and how, if it is important, how much is importance in the entire scope of integration. Okay, so if you look at those things, Groovy script is important in terms of processing calculating the dates or uh, filtering the while using in the where conditions, or we wanted to use the new parameters based on the dynamic allocation like a dynamic with the dynamic dates, you know, in order to process the data. So in such cases, when the standard function or the standard elements are not not meeting that requirement, in such cases, it is easy to write the Groovy script code according to our requirement, so that it will meet the requirement and the data will be processed from sender to receiver system. Okay. So uh, now we can't able to meet the requirement with the standard functions. Of course, we are very expert in going forward. Once you become an expert in the CPI and you reduce the Groovy script, that would be fine. But initially, if you are in some gray areas, if you are not sure how to achieve with the standard functions, then we have to use the Groovy script. Okay. So Groovy script is the alternative for the any workaround solutions. Okay. Say for example, you are extracting the data from success factors for one employee. Okay, that is fine. You just use the filter condition in the success factors adapter, and you will extract it. Let's say, uh, uh, let's look at the another example. You want to extract the data from success factors who are hired yesterday. Okay, so every day you need to send people who are hired yesterday. Those employees you need to send to the receiver system. In such case, okay, there are two options. You use the standard filter condition to achieve that. If you're not sure about standard function that will works to to meet this logic, then the next option is to use the Groovy script. Okay, so always Groovy script is the alternative for the to process to meet the to develop the business logic. Okay, so here the logic is very simple. Then the logic is you need to find the new heights who are hired yesterday. Okay, on daily basis. So is it possible with the standard function without Groovy? Of course it is possible, but you should know the entire in and out of the CPI. Okay. So if you are not sure, then you simply write the code about the the dates, and you can use the Groovy script in the success factors in the filter condition. Therefore, the data will be executed. I'm giving just an example to understand the scope or the importance of it. So the next question is now, and which in where are we use this Groovy script? Okay, so everywhere we can use the Groovy script in the entire integration process. Start between the start and end message, you can use anywhere. Okay, there is no restriction to use in this area or after this step or like not like that. You can use in between the start to the end message. And so now how we are going to use this Groovy script. Okay, so if you look at the Groovy script on this slide, okay, so primarily just have a look at first the slide. You can able to see the screen, right? So just have a look on the slide. So in the script, if you see, it started with the import com.sap, right? Those are the library files that will support the Groovy script. Okay, so those are the SAP library files that will support for Groovy script. So there are so many library files are there. Those are will start with the import. The word keyword will start with import. So the primarily, if you look at the script, we can split into three areas here. Okay, as you know that what is the structure of the message? Initially, we have discussed before the content modifier. The structure of the message will follow three things: header, property or attachments, and body, right? So every message will follow the same pattern. So here the Groovy script is also will follow the same pattern because it is also has to be aligned with the message format. So header, we call it as here properties, and body. So in the content modifier also we have used in the same way, right? Header, properties, and body. Headers, what it does generally in the content modifier, header or properties, what it does, what is the use of having these two in content modifier? Content modifier.
Defining defining the fields,
Defining the fields, okay, and
defaulting the values like constants,
yeah, And
referring.
yeah, exactly. So that means overall we are dealing with the fields or parameters that has to be helped with the process the data, right? So these headers or properties are not to drive the data, but we will define the parameters or the fields, or we need to define the values, or if you wanted to recall the global variables or the local variables, to what is needed to in order to process the data, we can define those things in header or properties, right? Same thing we can do it in Groovy script also. But how to do that? You have to start with like a def. Def means definition. Okay. Map means is the word, the header name equal to message dot get headers. Okay. So if you have any headers in the current pipeline, it will comes into the headers. Get headers means whatever the pipeline the headers are there, those things can be read from here. So now definition value equal to map dot get old header. So the value is nothing but the new header name. Okay. So whatever the value that is old header value is there, that will be stored in the value that you are defining it. Once you define that your dot set header, that means uh, that you are written into the message. Okay, set header means the value will be called. Okay, what value will be called? Whatever the value that is storing in the value field, that will be called. So dot set header, message dot set header means that the value will be written in the message. Okay, same thing it goes with the properties also. Message dot get properties, that means whatever the properties are there in the current pipeline, it will be read from that. And message dot set property, that means the property values that will be written to the message. Okay. Again, the header are properties that we use it for the call referring to the parameters, to deal with the parameters as like a content modifier. It is similar to the content modifier only thing is here you will write the code. Okay, but the function how it works is similar to the content modifier. And coming to the body, so body you can call with the definition body equal to message dot get body. Okay, so whatever in the pipeline it comes, right, body. So it will get body means the pipeline, whatever the message is there, the body of the message, the raw data. Okay, that will be read from there. And if you wanted to add or modify anything in the body section, you can do it in terms of start with dot set body. So body, headers are properties. Okay, these three sections are there in the Groovy script. And now those three are not mandatory to use at a time. Okay, you can use header only, you can use property only, you can use body only, or you can use any two combination or three. So there is no restriction or there is no mandatory thing like you have to use three things. Like in content modifier, how we do, whatever you want, any selection you can do that. Same way in Groovy also, you can choose. You wanted to write the code for only property section, you can write the code for only properties. You want to write the code for only body, you can write the body. Same thing headers also. Okay, but it start with the libraries import, then def message process data. It's next message. When you start with the message, def message process data within the brackets message dot message is the standard word. Okay, that will not change in any script. Open brackets. So what will change is in the body section, header section, property section, it will be changed. Okay. And coming to these keywords about dot set property, there is also standard message dot set header, message dot set property, message dot set body. All these things will read those sections from the current pipeline to the Groovy script by the Groovy script. Okay, so now there are three sections that you're understanding it. So here we need to go into the depth in between and going forward. So because if you say the properties, if you want to define the new properties, how to define the new properties, and whatever the logic is there, how to calculate that logic, in the programming way. All these things are more important. So you need to go into that kind of a direction. Okay. Just look at a sample script file. It will be like this on the right side. Just have a look at here. So this is a kind of message it will. So let's use one script to implement in the iFlow. Okay. So the iFlow that we will implement for the enable the payload. Enable the payload means you are extracting the data from the success factor system. So far what we have done, we have not enabled any payload along with the log file, right? So if you want, you extracted the data from success factor system and you have sent it to the mail. At the end you have seen in the mail, right? But let's say for example, as part of monitoring purpose, you need to keep track of along with the file, so therefore they can audit what kind of data that is been processing to the sender, from sender to the receiver. Okay. So if the client requires in that way, then you need to enable the payload also, right? So same situation here. So you extracted the data for the one employee, the job information, and the same thing you wanted to enable the payload. So therefore the payload log will be attached to the log file. So after 1 month or 2 months, if they want to keep track what kind of a data that is sent to the receiver system, that will be recorded in the log files, right? So for that you need to enable the payload in the CPI. So how to enable the payload? We will use Groovy script to enable that payload. So can't we use without a payload, without a Groovy script? Yes, as of now, we cannot enable payload without a Groovy script. And how many days the payload log files will be available? As long as the log file is there in the CPI, the payload is also available. So now the question is, how many days the log file will be there in CPI? Any guess? How many days the log files are there in CPI? Yeah,
Maybe 1 month.
Rajesh?
1 month.
No, wrong answer. Not 1 month.
14 days?
No, no, no.
90 days.
Yeah, correct. 90 days. So it will be there uh, in the CPI tenant. Okay. So actually, we do not have any control to modify the date, the number of days. Okay. So this is SAP has restricted. SAP is controlling it. If you need, for example, client needs like a 180 days or 365 days, then you raise a request to SAP, then they can increase the tenant number of days the log file. Okay, number of days cannot be changed based on the iFlow. It is depends on the entire. It applies to the entire tenant. Okay, so 90 days that the log file will be there. So when the 90 days are available, the payload is also available 90 days. Okay. So now let's use the Groovy script for enabling the payload. Okay, it's very simple. There are just 2 or 3 lines to enable the payload for logging using Groovy script. and every time whenever you wanted to enable the payload, and you use the same script, right? So no need to change anything, and just accept the names of the payload name only. Otherwise, the code is the same. So let's use the code for the enable the payload. Okay. Let's create iPhone. Enable payload, right? For that we are developing the gray state. It's already existing the different one. Just give me a second. Let me open the iPhone. Hey, by the way, one question to you. Which folder you are using to developing the iFlow? So which folder in the design tab you are using for that to develop the iFlow? Yeah,
More CPI.
more CP_7, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So please do it everything in this folder only. It's good because I deleted some of the other folders. So use this folder. Mm,
Yes, yes.
it's good. Okay. Okay.
Kumar,
We cannot add multiple times artifacts. Kumar,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, tell me.
can't we upload multiple times the artifacts and separate groups?
You mean with the same
Yeah,
name?
yeah, yeah.
Same name cannot be uploaded. If you can make it different names, that will be uploaded. Same name cannot be uploaded, even though in different folders.
Like now success factors, we can integrate ECC also now. Same way here, ECC integration. Like,
Okay.
so we are doing integration success factors now. For ECC proxy integrations, we can do the same way, right? In the PI, like what we do,
Yeah. I
same way.
mean, here we have standard packages are there. So in some cases, the customer is choosing the standard pack. We will configure and deploy it. If it is a custom, and same way here, you need to develop the entire iFlow.
Okay. Okay.
Where is this script is going on? I just created some Google script. So let's do one thing. We will create an iFlow. Okay. So we will create one iFlow. The iFlow will be like this. I mean, I'll give you a scenario here. So from there we'll start. So the scenario is extract the data, extract the data, extract the data of personal information and job information for the employee 12766. Okay. Payload enabled in log file. Okay. So can anyone can tell the steps in the process? What are the steps has to use? You understand the scenario, right? This is the scenario. What is the scenario? You need to extract the data for personal info and job information from success factors. And finally, payload, enable the payload. Enable the payload, I will tell you in the code. But what are the steps for that?
I would use a request reply to get the
First,
data from success factors, and in the script we would I mean in the whatever we call that, in the script place we would put the selection criteria for just one employee 12766 wherever
yeah,
we are grabbing the job
request
information.
reply is for which information? Personal info?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. The next job info?
And
I,
modifier, content enricher.
Both you will get it from request reply? How
Uh,
many?
content enricher we can use for getting employee job data.
Yeah, we can use it. In fact, I mean, if you want to use request reply for the both also, we can achieve it
Yeah.
for like a person info and job info. And if you wanted to use content enricher also, you can do that. So both ways are possible.
Yeah.
Okay. So here, so next, so now my next question is, if you wanted to use request reply for both personal info and job info, how to do that?
We can connect content modifier with request reply.
Content modifier with request reply. You mean content enricher? Huh?
Yeah. because to
Now
store
here
that data.
my question is here. You are using the step called request reply. Okay. So for
Yeah.
that you want to get the data from the two objects, because at a time you can connect only one object only. So in case if you want to get the data from two objects by using request reply, how to do that? Any idea? I mean, if you wanted to have single object, you know it, just to give the personal info and get the data. But for the two objects, because two different objects, not on the same object, no? So, any idea?
One more request reply.
If you use one more request reply, previous request reply will gone, na? Because the nature of request reply is it will not carry the previous message. So, whatever the latest request reply, that message only will be carried. Hey, you would have know this by this time. We have not finished message mapping, right?
No.
I think you're not message. Yeah, okay. I think yeah, it makes sense.
Content enricher is not useful, right? In this case.
Content enricher is also useful. That's what I'm saying. There are two options are there. By using content enricher, you can do that, or by
Yeah.
even using request reply also you can do that.
We can use a request reply and connect it to content enricher. So to get that employee job, is it possible?
Yeah, yeah, it is possible. That
Yeah.
is more generic way. That is
Yeah.
possible. But once you become expert, you can use request reply to get the both also. No need to use even content enricher. That is next step. But let's stick on to the generic way now. So my thing is, let's find out by ourselves by using request reply. Okay, going forward you'll get to know how to use both. So as of now we use just a personal info. Then the second is use content enricher for job info. Right? What is the next step? Then so we need to send it to in CSV format, right? In CSV, I didn't write it. CSV file. So we need to convert into CSV. So we need to use converter, right?
Yes.
Convert to CSV. Then use
Groovy script. Right?
Groovy script. Use Groovy script for payload. File. Send the CSV file to Mail Connect. So these 5 steps are involved. So let's use the first request. So first is the personal info, second is the job info. So let me first finish the process. So once you get the content, now you have to use the converter, right? Let's use converter from XML to CSV. Once you use XML to CSV, then next thing is you have to use it. Now you can send it to mail. Use the mail connector, right? So let's use the details about mail connector. Okay. Details, very password, credentials name, and mail ID. So I wanted to send it to the attachment, right? So what should I do here? I need to send the CSV file to the mail. I mean, generally in the real time, we place in the SFTP folder, okay, the CSV file. So here, for understanding purpose, the same CSV file, whichever is placing in the SFTP, you are sending with the CSV to the mail, right, along with the CSV file. So if you want the CSV file, how to use here in the configuration, you know it. So here we can do the attachments. There is the attachment section here, right? You click on add and you can give the file name. What file name we can give? We can give the, let's say, job info underscore 12766 dot csv, right? Then the type of the attachment is csv, and what kind of the content you need to put it into the body. So you can just say add message attachments. Okay, so let me define attachment. Okay, I just mentioned in the mail about the CSV file attachment and given the subject line is job info and personal info. Security is none. So that mail is finished. We will come to the later the review script. Let me finish this. So now start with the immediate one, then request to file. You can connect it to personal information. Success factor, information. Then connect it to SF instance. Once you connected to the SF, so now it's connected to SF instance. Now which one you need to extract? Personal info per personal, right? So the entity name is per personal. So here you can select the fields that you wanted to extract. So let me select the fields: first name, formal name, gender, last name, status, middle name, nationality. Okay, so if you want all fields, you can select. If you want the specific fields, you can select. So now click on the step 3 for the filter condition. So here I need it for only one employee. 127 double six. If you want to do the shorting, you can do it. Just click on finish. Yeah. So I just finished for request reply step. Step 1 is done. Now the next step is content enricher for job info. So let's use content enricher for the job info. So again, you can give the details of nothing. You can give intention. So here, what is the which entity we need to select here for job information, right? The job information
Employee
entity.
job.
Yeah, the entity name. What is the entity name?
EFP job.
Yeah, correct. The entity name is EMP job. Okay. So user ID, input start date, and you can select the fields that you are looking for. So here I selected the business unit, company, call center, department, region, employee status, employee class, employee type, event reason, next FTE, job code, job title, location, manager ID. Manager ID means reporting manager. Pay grade, position. Okay, all the fields which are relevant to the job information, you can select those fields. Now you can give the same filter condition about the employee ID, right? So that it will extract for only, it will enrich the information for only that particular employee. So just click on finish. So both first and second steps have finished. Next is converter step, right? So for converter, XML to CSV, you need to give the path, right? So now you tell me what is the path I should give here. What is the path I should give here? Hmm? Any idea? What is the path I should give here?
Accessory slash whatever the XML file name we are applying for,
Yeah. So that means after content, because first we have used the request reply, then next we have used the content enricher. So now you can visualize what kind of a message that will be arrived at this step, XML to CSV converter. What kind of message that will be arrived? Of course, it is in XML format, but if you visualize the XML message, how it would be? It will started with XML version, then the
Node
the
list.
yeah, the node list will start with message one actually. Okay, so that will be start anytime when you use the content enricher. Okay, actually in fact here it is there, right? So here we use the option combine, then we remember we have discussed the algorithm of the XML structure. It will started with ns0 colon message 1 message 2 like that, right? It started with message 1, then messages message 1 message 2 like that. Okay, so here the XPath of the XSD file you should give then from starting with the node list. So the node list will be with messages 1 messages slash message 1. Okay, that we have to update here. Yeah. And field separator, as you know, anything can be selected. If you want a headers include, you can include. So the exact message will be like this. So it started with messages. Messages and okay. Okay. That is
Is this
about
the
XML.
standard way, Kumar? Like,
Hmm?
always should it be like messages slash message, or
No, this
is
path will be changed. Here in this case, this is the X path that will come
it-
into the message. But you need to
okay?
know about the XML path.
Okay. I'm just confused. Like, where did we specify it as messages for the node list?
Yeah.
Uh,
So when we use the content enricher, the functionality of the content enricher is to generate these two, like a messages and messages one. We have not added anywhere. Our once you extracted per personal or the job info, these are the two XML, two entities that you have selected. But when you use the content enricher, that will the algorithm of the strategy, that the XML structure that will be generated by the content enricher. So when you use the content enricher, it will start with like this, exactly like this. Okay, so multi-map colon messages one, in which the message one, the first entity will be started. Here we first entity we selected per personal, right? So that
Yep.
will be started. So that will closing with message one. Next, the message two will be started, and the message two is started with EMP job, that will be finished. If you use the next content enricher, then message three, it will goes like that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So now let me save it. Then we will discuss the group script. So in the name you can say group payload. And now if you have already the file, you just click on assign. Okay. If you don't know, just click on plus symbol to create the new script. Once you created new, then by default it will shows like this. Okay. So these are why by default it's showing, because those are the default keywords that will be there in every script. Okay. So on top of it, if you wanted whatever you wanted to add or include as a new file, you can include it. So we have the, so now let's come back to the payload. It is the payload, right? So for enabling the payload of the file, the script will be like this. So actually whatever the format is there, the same format here, but what is not there, we have removed it. So as I told you, import will start with library files, right? So once library files is over, then the message will start. For starting the message, what is the word, what is the sentence that we have to maintain? Def message process data within the brackets message space small letter with message. So that means the message, the format of the message will be defined, so that it from there it will start it, open brackets. Then whatever you have, like whatever you want to define, header property or the header, that will start from here. So here we don't want to use header or property. For in our case, we don't require to define any parameter in properties or headers. Directly we wanted to write for body section. Why? Because we want whatever the body, the data will be comes, that has to be attached to the log file. That is our purpose right here. So that is why we started with the body section. Define body equal to message.getBody. Message.getBody means what? It reads the body of the previous step that comes into the pipeline. When I say pipeline means what? We have the arrow mark, the connector, right? So the data will become to arrive at this Groovy script. So that means the data will be in the pipeline. Okay. So it reads from the pipeline message.getBody java dot language string. You remember in the content modifier also the data type is java dot language dot string. Okay, the same thing here also. The body you defined as a string. So the entire body, whatever the data is there, that we are defining as a string. Then next what we are saying, message log equal to message log factory dot get message log. So this is about this is a standard keyword, message log factory dot get message. If message log not equal to null, that means once you deployed the iFlow, every iflow will have the message log, right? Whether it is a one line or 1,000 lines, that is different, but the log will be created like a message log, right? So if the message log not equal to null, that means it is not empty, then execute this word message log dot set string property logging one printing payload as attachment. So when you say printing payload as a attachment is a standard keyword. Okay, so whatever the body is there, that will be attached, that will be treated as an attachment. Okay, then now the next keyword we are starting with message log dot add attachment as string. Add attachment as a string is a keyword, right? So that will, whatever we have defined earlier as the body as a string, that will be attached to the the entire attachment, whatever there in the body, that will be treated as a string. The string will attach to the log. And now return message. So if you look at here, yeah, return message. So line number 9 and 10, these are the two important lines. Out of all other lines are just a makeup of the script. So if message log not equal to null, of course, so if the message log is not empty, then execute those two lines. What are the two lines? Set string property. So now whatever the string that you defined, that we are setting with as an attachment. Okay, so message log dot add attachment. So the next line it shows that whatever you defined as a string, that will be attached to the body. So that will be attached to the body. You can see payload 1. Okay, so body here is the word text slash plain. That means that will be the format will be in the text format. The body section. A written message. Written message means whatever it is defined, that will be written in the message. So that will be goes to the next step. So that is called. So the written message always at the end shows that the message will be concluded, and it will be forwarded to the next step. That's it. This is how you can define the Groovy script. Now let's execute and see this. Okay.
Enable payload is in with the red color mark, X mark, Kumar. So okay, I think now it's gone.
Srinivas, got it now?
Yes.
Okay, good. You're in SAP, or you've been outside SAP? I mean, working with SAP?
Rajesh. Sorry, Kumar.
What?
Yes, SAP itself.
SAP itself. Okay. How many years in SAP? How many years with SAP?
6 years.
Oh, 6 years only. Okay. That means you're a junior. I mean, according to comparing with our experience.
Why, Kumar?
Now, 6 years is less experience, I'm saying.
Okay.
Like generally SAP consultants is having 10 or 15 years now. Okay, so now we deployed the iFlow. We'll see the attachment, okay, along with the log file. So actually the main thing is XML to CSV converter. When you use it, you should know the the format of the message. Otherwise, it is very difficult to conclude the what is the path here. Of course, here also, in case if you get an error here, let's do one thing. After this, I will tell you. You can define the relative path as well. Okay, let's explore that option as well. Let me see this. Because the the XML message that will be that you need to understand about what kind of a structure that is maintaining from step to step. Okay. It is taking time for an employee. It seems something wrong here. It should not take that much time. Because we just given for one employee, right? It should be in less than seconds. But it's taking 1 minute 42. So we will enable the trace file to see where exactly the problem. Okay. I think something is wrong went, so we will enable the payload. So finally it is failed. Target server failed to respond. Right? Not working or what? I don't know. Okay. So the thing is, even the how this comes. The target server failed to respond, call failed to respond. Yeah, I think it is not connecting to the SF system. Let me check the SF access, SF tenant. Actually, SF tenant is working fine, but it is showing but the error is showing that target server is not responding. No? So let's see what is the error incoming. Okay, so let's open the trace. So as you know, now you can see the three different areas of the log files here, right? The iflow, log content, and message content. Message content means the payload, sorry, payload. So you can see on the program, it is terminating the error after the request reply only, right? After the request reply, so that means the first request reply is getting the data from a subsystem. But when it is sending to content enricher, it is showing an error. Yeah. Personal data is coming. Personal data is coming. But the next step, let's do one thing. Yeah? So now let's check the message. So there is a issue with the adapter, not even content enricher. The issue with the success factors when connecting to content enricher. So it is issue with the success factors adapter where we are updating the EMP job, right? So this is where it is not responding the data back. So either it is issue with the EMP job or in the connector. Oh, it seems it is failing. Let's do one thing. I will find out this and let's continue from tomorrow. Okay. So we'll continue from tomorrow from this point. Okay. Yeah. So see you in the next class. I'm just stopping here. Any other questions from your end? Any doubts or questions? Okay, then fine. We'll see you in the next class then. Yeah? Okay. Thank you all.
This conference will now be